Hey everybody! Happy Monday, July 3rd. I'm Leslie with the Plaid Poodle. I come on live at 2 p.m. Central. I'm a little late today because some things needed software updating today, so that was real fun. If you follow me, you know I'm not very technically inclined on these things. Today we're going to make a fun little three-dimensional oh, it's a party favor. It'd be fun to give along with a gift or a gift card, or just a display in your home. Um, I'm not sure if we're going to have anybody join us live. Tomorrow's a holiday, so I know a lot of people here in the U.S. are celebrating having a long weekend. But my husband's working today, so I decided that I could jump down here in my studio, and I was ill last week, so I missed out on doing my live last week, so I didn't want to go another week without touching base with you all. So if you're watching the replay, I will have a lot of the information I'm going to share with you today on the project, including measurements and scoring and cutting guides over on my blog, theplaidpoodle.com, later this afternoon. So check that out, and I will also have a replay of this video. So I'm going to switch over to my desk view, put myself in the corner. This is what we're going to make. Now, I made these as a party favor for my live card party that I had in June. I did not embellish it quite like this because I had stuck some treats inside the watering can. This is just a, you can't really stick anything in there. You might want to put some filler in there just to cover up those empty spaces. But it's just a fun little spring, summer. If you use some fall florals, it would be really cute for a fall project. I've even seen somebody do it using Christmas flowers, and it was really pretty. So this would be cute for any kind of feminine occasion, maybe garden party, Mother's Day. I know that's past, but really fun. And I bet you can find some way to use it and use some of the products that you might already own to make this. Okay, to start off with, you're going to need a piece of, I'm going to get my little cheat sheet out here, 8.5 by 4.5 inch cardstock, and I am using Petal Pink because I drew the color out of my Irresistible Blooms Designer Series paper. And we're just going to use our scoring blade, and we're going to score it on that 8.5 inch side at 1.5 inches. And this is going to make our little box we're going to turn into a watering can. Now, I found this idea online by another paper crafter, and her name escapes me at this point. I will look that up and mention her in the description after I get done today to give her credit. I think she had found it somewhere else herself, so I don't know who the original creator of this project was, but isn't that the way it goes? It's just so nice that everyone is nice to share. Okay, and I was just gabbing and didn't tell you how to score that. So I scored it at 1/2 inch, 1.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and 5.5 inches on the 8.5 inch side. Then I scored it at 1 inch on the 4.5 inch side. And this is going to make our little box that will become a watering can. So we're going to fold on the score lines and put this together just like we would a box. Then we're going to trim off this little 1/2 inch panel created by all those score lines. And then we're going to cut up just to that 1 inch mark on these score lines. This is going to be the bottom of our box. Okay, now on this 1/2 inch, I'm going to do a little trimming just so our box squares up real nice and square. This helps a little bit. On the tab, I just cut a little bit off of there, and then here's our tabs. I'm going to trim these just a little sliver, a little pizza slice off the edges. And it kind of helps square everything up. Someone's watching and gave me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I'd love to chat with you. If you're here, say hello. Now I'm going to use, to adhere my box together, some tear and tape. You can use whatever your favorite adhesive is. I would use pretty strong adhesive. You want your box to really hold up well. And then I'm going to just, I folded that 1/2 inch tab in, and I'm going to fold this over to meet that folded edge. And that creates your little box. This is a really good little box size to have. To use for different projects. Okay, I always like to have where my corners meet, the back, to be the back of my box. So I'm going to fold in the back, the side flaps, then the back flap, and then I'm going to fold this front flap over so I have a nice fold in the front instead of what would you call that? A crease. It's just a little cleaner. If that doesn't bother you, it doesn't matter how you fold in your. I just like to do that to give it a little cleaner edge, a little more finished, right? And then we're going to fold that over, and that's the front of our box. Now that's just a simple little box you can use for all kinds of different projects. We're going to turn ours into a watering can here in a minute. This box measures 3 by almost 3.5, and it will hold a whole Kit Kat bar, because that's what the people at my card party, this was their table favor. Instead of doing the overflowing flowers out of the top of the watering can, I just stuck a Kit Kat bar in there. I always like to give them a little treat. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is cover the front and the back with some Designer Series paper, and I am using, these are an online exclusive. It's not in our catalog, our Stampin' Up! Catalog. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and it's the Irresistible Blooms Designer Series paper. It's 6 by 6, and I will list all of the products I'm using today in the description once the video is over. Okay, so I've cut 2 pieces of DSP. Let me get my cheat sheet out here again, and it measures 3 1/4 by 2 3/4. And I got that beautiful floral print on there. And this, I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal, and we could have put this on before we assembled our box. On those panels, but this is how I roll. Okay, so I put a piece on the front and I put a piece on the back. You probably could leave your back plain if you didn't want to use up this beautiful paper. But one of the goals I always have when I buy Designer Series paper is to use it up. And you don't know the cringe I had when I cut this piece of paper because it's beautiful. I wonder if I can find the full sheet of it. Ugh, it just almost killed me to cut that, but we've got to use our paper, right? I might have used all of that print. It was similar to this one in that it had like a full sheet with a full little seam, and just about killed me to cut that. But my goal is to use my paper. That's what we have it for. We don't purchase it to hoard it. Okay, the next thing I did was I added the little spout. Now this is a little tricky. The spout and the handle are going to be a little tricky. But for your spout, you're going to need 2 pieces, and this is again the Petal Pink cardstock, and it is 2.5 by 3/4. And I'm going to stack both pieces on top of each other. And I'm just going to use some paper snips, and I'm going to just kind of freehand a little spout. I'm going to start from this corner and just cut up. Now you see how this is going to become our spout? So I just kind of cut the edges. And I wasn't holding that real tight, so I'm going to trim that up. Okay, so this is going to become my spout, but we have to create a little platform for our spout to adhere to the side of our box. So what I'm going to do is take my box and decide where I want my little watering can spout to be. And I think I want it kind of right there. I kind of like the tip a little bit higher than the top of the box. And I'm just going to very gently make a pencil mark. And then along that pencil mark, I'm going to, I could use my scoring tool and score it, but I think we can just fold it. And you see how that makes a little diagonal? So we've got 2, and then we've got our little diagonals, and I'm going to take my eraser and erase that pencil mark off of there. Now this is a tricky part because we're going to push this one in this way and this one in this way because we're going to glue these, and this is where I always get confused. Okay, we're going to do it this one in this way. You want them to, well, hold on. Put your spout together. This is how we'll do it. This one's going to go in and this one's going to go in because you're going to glue them together to make the little platform. Does that make sense? So I'm going to glue these together right along those score lines. That's the trickiest part. And what I suggest and what I did when I was making these for my people at my card party, the first one I made, I just used some scrap paper that I didn't care if it got messed up. And I just kind of practiced with the spout. So it makes kind of like a V. So here's our spout, and then we have this little platform. And then we can trim this a little bit. This is actually the best one I've ever made. And I've made a lot of these. And then we're going to glue that platform right on there. But before we do that, we're going to add this little circle, which I need to add some more adhesive to this one. It's a 1-inch circle. I'll put this on there for now. Hold that in place for a minute. So I'm going to take just a little scrap of that Petal Pink, and I have a 1-inch circle punch. But you could use a circle die or freehand a circle. And then I do like to, wonder what I did. Here we go. Score this just to make it a neater fold. So I'm going to set it in my trimmer and use the scoring blade and score it in half. There we go. My screen was messing up. Okay. I'm going to put a little tip of glue here. This is my multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm testing something out, this little bottle here. My friend, Betty Holton, she's another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, gave me this. This is a whole, I emptied a whole bottle of our multi-purpose glue in here, and I'm testing this applicator out, and so far I have been very impressed. If I find that I really like it, I'll give you guys the information. But so far, I've really liked it. Most fine tip glue tips end up getting a little, you know, clogged, and I just hate having to mess with that. But so far, this one has not. Okay, so I took that circle, I folded it in half, and I put it at the end of that our spout, and now I'm going to take, this is easier to do this, I'm going to put my lid on here because that's something I want to, part of my practice is to see if the lid makes a difference. I'm going to just take some mini glue dots, and I think I can put about 2 on here. We could use some of that multi-purpose liquid glue. In fact, I'm going to put 3 on here. But I find that these, I've made many of these, as I said, for my card parties that I had in June, and I find that using the glue, the mini glue dots on the spout and the handle work just fine. I'm using my little stylus to kind of add some pressure. There we go. That's the hardest part, y'all. So you can always, when this video is over, you can replay it and stop and go and stop and go. And like I said, take some scrap paper and practice, and you'll find you can make them in your sleep. Okay, for the little handles, Stampin' Up! does not sell these anymore, and I should have tried to do it with some of our stylish shaped circles, but I'm going to use some retired layering oval dies. You may have some oval dies in your stash. You could probably hand cut something. I'm just using these because I think it looks more like a watering can handle, and but I bet you could use circle dies and do the same thing. So I'm stacking these. If you have the Stampin' Up! Layering oval dies, I think they're the 3rd and the 4th from the 2nd and the 3rd. Here's the smallest. What am I trying to say? No, the smallest and the 3rd smallest dies. I think I got that right. Like I said, go to my blog afterward and I'll have the exact die to use. And then I just cut some scraps of the petal pink. This is 3 by 2, and my dies will cut 2 layers, so I'm going to cut 2 of these. You will need 2 for the handle. So we're going to grab our die cut machine. Oh, here it is. Oh, poop. Y'all, I grabbed the die cutting machine, and then I didn't grab the things I need to die cut. Hold on. I'll get my mini out because I think it'll work in my mini. This is the Boho Blue mini, and I think it might still be available. We're in a new month. Congratulations to those who joined during June with that great joining incentive. Had Julie join our team. We're glad to have her. And I was going somewhere with that. Anyway, we had a lot of great things going on the month of June. July, we have, starting on July 6th, every $50 that you shop for or spend, you will receive a $5 off coupon to use in August. So, that is something that Stampin' Up! Is showing their appreciation for your patronage during the month of July. All right, here's my 2 ovals. And I'm going to do the same thing with those that I did with the spout. I'm going to kind of determine how I want that handle to go on my watering can. And then I'm going to just take a pencil and make just a little mark. And then still holding them together, I'm going to make a cut about 1/4 of an inch from that cut mark. I don't know if the camera's showing the cut mark. There's my pencil mark. So then I'm cutting it 1/4 of an inch and then 1/4 of an inch. So this is just scrap. We don't need this. This is trash. And then like we did on the spout, we're going to fold on that. I'm going to use my fingernail and just kind of make a fold there on both layers. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here. And then like we did the spout, we have to make a little platform with those folds. One will fold, well, they both fold in. I don't know how to explain it with words. You know, words are always my thing. But we're going to glue those together like we did the spout. And this is another one that it would be good to just, you know, practice on some scrap paper or paper you don't mind messing up. It's going to make a little heart. But you're going to have those fold lines, and then when you fold it, it'll make that little platform, and that's what we're going to use to adhere to our box. So see how one folds in this way and one folds in that way, and then we're going to stack them. On top of each other. We just have to wait a second for that glue to hold. Another thing that's going on during the month of July is a week from Friday, I am going to be on Craft Roulette Live, which is an impromptu crafting show. It's really very popular. It's live every Friday on it's Craft Roulette Live. I'll put a link here. You can join it. You can watch it this Friday. You can also go there and watch replays of past episodes. But it's a impromptu craft show, and you can participate as well. You can win prizes. It's very fun. But I get to be a guest crafter a week from Friday on the 14th. So I'll be putting out more information on that as we get closer. But that's another thing going on in July that I'm very excited about. I'm very humbled that Mary Gunn, She is the host of the show, and her producer, Steven, they have invited me to come on, and that is just so sweet and so humbling. So I'm looking forward to that. What else is going on? So I've got my handle. Did you all see how I put the glue to glue that, kind of glue it together at the top? You can't glue it down here. And then I put some glue dots on there, and I'm just going to do it just the same as I did the spout. And kind of use my stylus to get it really firmly on there. Okay, so that was the hardest part of this whole situation. Now we're done. We get to do the fun stuff. All right. For we're going to make a little platform to kind of stack our flowers on. And you're going to want a little piece. I don't know if I cut one or not. I didn't. So let me cut a little piece. How big does it need to be? It needs to be 4.5 by 1 inches. So I'm going to cut a 1-inch strip by 4.5. That's already there. And then I'm going to score that. Seriously, is it that big? 1 inch looks really big to me. A 1/2 inch. 4 inches by 1/2 inch. I was reading the wrong number. Sorry, guys. Once again, go to my blog for all the details on cutting and scoring. So 4 inches by a 1/2 inch. Then we're going to score each end at a 1/2 inch. So I'm using my scoring blade on my trimmer. And I made a 1/2 inch score mark, and I'm just going to fold those like that. And when I do this, I kind of like to do it like this. I don't know why. I think it gives it a little bit more stability. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just dreaming that, but I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on those 1/2 inch tabs. And then I'm going to stick this right in the center of the box at the top. I hope you can see okay without my big fingers in the way. Okay, so we made a little platform, and that's what the flowers are going to sit on. And it does make like a little Z when you fold it like that. It probably just depends on how you attach it too. Okay, now the flowers I cut directly out of the Designer Series paper, which is the Hello Irresistible paper. And there are 2 prints. Let me find a full sheet because I've been cutting it like crazy. Here's the sheet that I've cut most of the flowers from. But the dies from the Irresistible Blooms bundle coordinate with that paper, the leaves and the flower dies. So I just used the paper instead of stamping. We could have stamped and then cut off, but I went ahead and cut several leaves and several flower images from that paper. Nothing wants to come out of the cellophane bag. Okay. All right, now I found it helpful to put the handle on first because then I could decide where and how I wanted to glue the flowers onto the box. So we can take this off now. I think my circle is done. So I've taken a 1/2 inch by 8.5 inch strip of the petal pink, and I'm just using my fingers to kind of you know, break down some of those fibers and curl it. And then I'm going to take a little glue. You could probably use Stampin' Seal Plus on this project as well. That would be a good adhesive. I like the liquid glue because it gives me a little wiggle room if I need to change anything up when I'm doing something like this. Okay, so there's our little handle. And then I just took one of the larger flowers and glued one of the leaf die cuts, and I got the leaves also from the paper. Those dies will work with the paper. So I'm going to glue this one kind of just right directly. Did I use some dimensionals? I used a lot of mini dimensionals. I wanted everything to kind of look like it was just growing out of the watering can. And so I did. So just kind of determine where you want those. And it's just all your personal taste. I wanted them to appear like they were just kind of growing out. So there's a yellow one with the 3 leaves. And then it looks like I added one of these smaller flowers. Let's add this peach one here. Or it's a petal pink one. And I did use dimensionals on that as well. And I just glued the leaves on the back of that. I kind of thought that made it, that flower looks like it's kind of looping around. You know how petunias kind of loop around the front of the can. And then I took a larger flower and I put it on our little platform here. And it looks like I used just plain old adhesive. I didn't pop that up with anything at all. So it's peeking up behind, and it looks like I added a couple leaves to that. So let's do that. Depending on what products you use, what's coming out of your can, you know, depends on how high everything is. I just wanted it to look very dimensional. And then I also have, looks like that's all I did. I have an extra flower. I think I added another leaf onto the back of this one just to give it some height. You see how it added a little bit of height? Looks like there's a little bit of greenery coming out from behind. That's all I did. So 3 flowers and several leaves. Now I could probably put another flower back here, but it wouldn't show. So I think the 3 flowers is good. All right, I think, no, I'm going to need this in just a minute for my sequins, but I'm going to put this lid back on. I think I keep trying to put it on upside down. Okay. Now, for my sentiment, I didn't want to cover up much of that pretty paper. Hey, Kathy. I'm just using the Hello from that Irresistible Blooms bundle. And I'm using Pretty Peacock ink and just a scrap of Basic White. Kathy, I'm making the watering cans that you guys got at the card party last month. But I'm doing them a little different. Instead of making them into treat bags, I'm making them into kind of a little, I don't know, party favor, home decor, something, something. I don't know what to call it. And then I'm using my double oval punch to punch that out. I'm just using the smaller oval. Like I said, I just did not want to cover up this pretty paper. So I'm just going to put it down here at the bottom corner with some dimensionals. Here they are. And then I added some sequins, and these are also retired. I just grabbed them out of my embellishment drawer, the first thing I could grab. Where's my adhesive? Okay. And I put 5 on just to add a little sparkle. I think on this one, I thought 5, after I saw it, looked like a lot. So I'm just going to put 3 on this one. I can always add more later, right? I don't know if you can see all 5, but I don't know. I just thought maybe 5's too many. These are iridescent sequin assortment. And I don't know what catalog they came out of, but I do know they're retired. And it would be so much easier with adhesive back sequins that we now carry. These kind are great for shaker cards, but they're a little finicky. For projects. I thought the colors went well. These colors. Okay. Well, hi, Carol. Oh, that's all right. We just finished the project, but I made these watering cans for my June card party favors. And, oh, we got to add the bow. And I am sharing how I did it. I did not come up with this idea on my own, and I will share the demonstrator if I can find it, who actually I got the idea from. I'm not sure it was her original idea or not, but this is my take on them. So I thought they were awfully clever, especially for this time of year. Are you guys growing anything? I have Boston ferns on my front porch because it faces north, and so it doesn't get too hot. And this year I did not, I normally plant some flowers, geraniums, because they're hardy. I'm not a very good plant lady. So, but I didn't do them, and I think it's getting so late in the season that I probably won't. I'll probably plant some mums in September, maybe. I always like to do those at my front porch, too. So, have you guys planted anything? I just envy people who are so good at taking care of plants. Oh, Kathy, the squirrels are your flowers. We have a lot of squirrels too, and we love them. I think we have a little squirrel family. And we love to sit and watch them. You know, they've got nuts in their mouth, and they just jump from tree to tree. It's so fun. Plus, you know, I don't know what you guys, if you have priced plants. I thought the plants were very expensive this year. I like to buy, you know, the already arranged, you know, a few here, a few there. I thought they were kind of high, pricey high. Okay, the ribbon just sets it off. It needed the ribbon, didn't it? Okay, this is, the ribbon I used is the Ribbon Duo Pack. And it comes with the Granny Apple Green. Isn't that cute? And the Petal Pink that we just used. It's kind of a striped ribbon. Carol has an apartment and has 2 potted plants outside, and everything is expensive right now. I agree. That's nice, Carol, that you have 2 plants outside. My mom, for Mother's Day, that's what I gave her. Was she lives in an apartment too, and so I got her or I made her up. No, I bought her the whole thing. I think I repotted it in a different pot. Some flowers for her little deck, so she didn't have to deal with carrying that and doing all that, but that's always nice. Yes, everything is expensive right now. I agree. But anyway, so I think I shared everything. Beginning on the 6th, for every $50 you purchase from me or from Stampin' Up, you will receive a $5 off coupon to be used in August. The important thing to remember about that is when they email you your coupon code, save that somewhere safe or write it down, because then when you place your order in August, you'll need that code to get your $5 off. So, and I don't know that they keep track of those codes, so please be careful. It's like cash when you get that coupon code. I will be on Craft Roulette Live on July 4th. July 14th. That's on YouTube, and it's every Friday night. You can go to Craft Roulette Live, and I'll put the link in the description right now, and you can watch past episodes. But I'm really excited that they asked me to come back and be a guest crafter. It's really fun. There's a lot of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators on that, and there's a lot of crafty people. And you can participate and create right along with us. There was one other thing. Oh, I am having a Christmas in July card party on July 20th. My normal card parties that I have one at 1 p.m. and one at 6:30 p.m. here at my home in Lee Summit. So if you're local to me, reach out and I can get you that information, or go to my blog and click on classes and events, I think is the tab, and it has all the information there, and I'll put a link in the description. I think that's all for now. Until something else comes up. Isn't that the way it does? We think we have it all figured out, and then something else comes up. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. You guys have an awesome 4th of July. We kind of celebrated with our family yesterday. They're busy with other friends and things, so we had them over yesterday and had a cookout, and then the little kids did their little tiny fireworks. And so that was fun. So we're just going to have a kind of a relaxing day tomorrow. But you guys have a wonderful time celebrating our freedom. We live in the best country in the world, I think. So I'm grateful for it, and I hope you are too. And I'm grateful for you guys. So we will see you next Monday for Make It Monday. And happy stamping. Check my blog later for all the cutting, scoring guides for this project, as well as the replay of this video, so you can watch it and make one for yourself. Okay, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye. Happy stamping.